Yes, ready, bruh. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
so you doing all right, man? What you up to, man? You said you out in Washington.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I'm just at home right now, resting, meditating, looking at some things.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, yo, like truth be told, man. Yo, it's just been a blessing, bro. I've been trying to get in touch with you for the longest, and it's just a blessing to finally able to actually fellowship with you. Because I've been watching
Yes,
your
sir.
videos for a minute, bro. You've been going hard. That one you did with Odell Beckham, that shocked me right there, man. How you
Oh,
was
yeah?
Yeah, how you was talking about what was it, the player car and then the church. That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, you were actually like I said, you were actually one of the guys that I first seen, man, as I was getting into this truth, man. Like I was saying earlier, when I first seen you, man, it was just, man, I looked at things so much differently, man. Like the way you were able to not only just know your scriptures, but be able to put them to play, man. It's like, that's like, man, it was powerful, man. And so, ever since I've been watching you, man, I just been learning a lot, listening, learning, seeing things right in front of my eyes, man. Like, I have one of these delivery spots on my job in this tire shop. And it used to be called Midas, but now it's called like Kakara. And I'm
Wow.
like, I'm seeing things right in front of my eyes, man. It's deep, man.
Yeah. The Masonic City planners, man.
Yes, yes, everywhere, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
See, I'm out in New York, so it's heavy.
Oh man, for
Yeah.
real?
Yeah, it's heavy. Like I be back and forth. I be doing a lot of traveling, but yeah, man, like out in New York, bro, it be like that. Like you see it everywhere. And I mean, even when I be driving, like I was in Philly a little bit, and I was seeing it everywhere. It's just like when I was driving. Was I driving through Pennsylvania? I think, and it was like they had. Was it like Zion? Then it was in Lewiston. I'm like, this is insane. They literally had
Man,
Zion, Lewiston, and it was something. I think it was a church. I'm like, and it was
uh-huh.
Williams. Well, I think it's Williamsburg, if I'm not mistaken. All of that was lined up on 76.
Wow.
Like I think was it like something like exit 76 or something like that was Zion and Shiloh
Uh-huh.
Road. All of that. Yeah, I'm like,
Wow.
this is insane. You know?
Yes, man. It seems like they just don't stop with it, man. They just don't stop.
Yeah. He said his name is blasphemed all day long.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so that's like as we see it, like he said, through the blasphemy, his name will be made known. That's why I start just learning that and learned about the Lewis and about, the Williams, the Cara, the Charles, and all of these
Mm-hmm.
things, man. It's just like it's no way around it.
Yeah. And that was one thing I was gonna ask you too. Is how did you find Louis Vuitton? Was it like something that you discovered on your own, or someone taught you that, or was it just something you found through the spirit?
A brother, me and a brother, I had came across me and him was doing a lot of deep studying and
Uh-huh.
we was just going through a lot. Like he was just showing me a lot, man. At first, at the time, that's when I was, I used to be around the Hebrew camp, stuff like that. I was kind of just edging away. And then
Uh-huh.
I started, obviously learning about, the Illuminati. Once the George Floyd situation happened, that really made me like, hold on, the
Uh-huh.
so-called black thing, but the black thing, like that Black Lives Matter, it really blew my mind. I'm like, this is high level, and I started learning about the masonry. Then that's when I came across a brother. Me and him was doing deep studies, and I was just man at Lewis. When I started seeing that, and I started seeing like the translation, especially when you understand about Judah, about the tribe of
Uh-huh.
Judah involvement with France, and then the Louisiana connection with France. And I was just
Uh-huh.
like, this is it's deep stuff. And then I started learning about the blasphemy with like the Hollywood, how serious it is. Cause I'm like, evil ain't just promoting evil. They're fighting something. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if he's in the sky all day, how they say it, it's just like, it, that's that. If we understand the history, like how the Most High always worked, he always, the Most High is the Most High, regardless. And then on
Right.
top of that, he always works through the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the Son of Man was in the flesh the first time he was upon the earth. Nobody believed, and it was blaspheming like that then. They was teaching about the sky god and all of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like that's the whole theme of it. So once I started learning that with the with all of this, especially with the sports, man, I used to be a
Oh
heavy, yeah, I used to be a heavy sports dude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
once I started learning that, it's just like, wow, And you out in
Yeah.
Washington, so you know about the supersonics, how serious that is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, man.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That supersonic theme is
Especially the whole aspect of not Gary Coleman, what's his name?
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton. They call him the glove.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Then that's deep because notice how he went from the Sonics. That all deals with sound. He goes from the
Mm-hmm.
Sonics and then he ends up on the heat. You know what I mean? The fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As it's written, how we go through the fire. You know.
Right.
So
Right.
So when I started learning
Oh,
all of this stuff, I was like, in the movies, you know what I mean? The music, obviously, is the highest level. But
mm-hmm.
once I started learning all of that, yeah, man, I was just like, this ain't no joke, It's like once you keep seeing it, it's at the point now, like I see it. Like I was looking at that movie Nope. I was watching a little bits of it earlier, and I'm just like, here we go again. You know?
Right. Right. Yeah, no, man. Yes. Man, you see it everywhere, left and right, left and right, left and right. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, the food, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. The food, everything. Perfume. I mean, it's
Yo, that
crazy,
was some
man.
that was some deep stuff you shared on your recent video with the Louis Eternal cologne. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
this is insane. And you think about it,
I was like, wow.
yeah, fragrance is high level anyway,
Uh
smell.
huh.
So it's like
Right.
you remember if you ever seen that movie, what was it, Love Potion #9 with Sandra Bullock? It's way back in like the '90s. And they was on
I
there.
was gonna say, yeah. No, I ain't seen that one.
Yeah, they was using love spells and they were spraying perfume to make people fall in love with them that didn't even like them. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
man.
that's some serious stuff. So
Yeah.
it just be like, man, you gotta stay prayed up, like it says. We gotta have the armor of righteousness from the crown of our head to the sole of our feet.
Right.
Because it's
I was,
constant.
I, I was gonna say too. I was seeing this movie the other night. I know there's a couple things that I've seen in it, but have you ever seen the crossover movie, the basketball movie?
Oh yeah, that was you talking about back in the one with Anthony Mackie, the guy who played on 8 Mile.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was, oh man, I ain't seen
yeah,
that in years. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like '06.
yeah. I was seeing some things in that, man. I was just like, it was just some high level blasphemy.
Oh yeah, because it the crossover anyway. The whole thing is crossing over. You know what I'm saying? Remember that's why Allen Iverson had to cross Jordan. Cause you remember crossing Jordan, you enter the promised land. The
Right.
Jordan River. Yeah, the crossover.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what.
Yes. Also, my bad. My bad. I don't know if you had another question or not.
No, go ahead, bro.
I actually wrote some things down. But another thing too, I wanted to talk about with you was about the Northern Tribe. Because as I was first starting, I was always saying, all 12 tribes of Israel were so-called black.
Mm-hmm.
And after spending some time away from that, while I was gone that month, not too long ago, I had time to really like sit down and meditate on that, man, because through those times, like, man, it was like the most I was allowing a lot of things around me to kind of speak for itself. Like I was out and about, and I met like this guy. He was like Caribbean or something like that, man. And he was telling me how he had like 15% African DNA in his blood. And I was blown away, man. It was like the Lord was showing a lot of things to me around that time. And so that's what I just wanted to see. What was your take on the Northern Kingdom? And yeah.
Like, are you asking like who are they? Is what you're asking?
Not who are they, but like, were there ever something like in mind that you could think of, like a movie or scene that kind of sticks with you? Like, okay, see, like that or this.
Oh, you're asking me like some like confirmation, basically
Yeah, yeah,
pertaining to the Northern Kingdom.
yeah,
I mean, shoot, you watch any of the, especially the Purge movies.
yeah. I've seen a couple of them. Yeah,
Have you seen the newest one when they was in Mexico? When they was trying to make it to Mexico?
I've seen parts of it. I've seen
Yeah,
parts of it. Yeah.
I like that was no mistake because the one before that one, remember it was the so-called blacks that was out in New York. It was in Staten
Yeah.
Island, and remember it was called the First Purge when they was fighting the Russians. And
Uh
remember
huh.
he was protecting the Hispanic woman, her daughter, and then he was protecting the so-called black girl and her brother and all of that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like they keep repetitively showing it. Even the movie back in the day, man, it was one of them old gang banging movies where they had it was like the Latino and the so-called black man was coming together. I forgot what
Uh huh.
movie that was, but that was years. I'm like, they just keep repetitively showing this. Even right now with the Black Panther too. You see that,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Uh
Namer,
huh.
they got Namer and he's dealing with the Atlantis. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And another
That's
movie, I had broke down a while back. It's on Tubi. They took it off Netflix. I guess because people are watching it. I don't know, or they just took it down. You know how they do. But
right.
it was called Only. That was a serious movie, man. That was a deep movie. It came out right before the whole Rona thing went down. But the man on there, his name was William, and then he had, a wife. Her name was Eve. But
Uh huh.
they use like that. They always use that light skin theme for like that.
Mhm.
It's like code for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's when I saw that. I was like, it was crazy because like he was trying to protect her. She saw like he was oppressing her. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
The people who date and look at the world now. I notice everything is becoming like they calling it what the biracial because it's the two sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
That's why they say
Yup.
about
Yup.
2060 they like, oh, it's not gonna really be many dark skin. It's gonna be biracial. You know,
Right.
even though that ain't true how they trying to put it, but what they're saying is 2060 is what 40 years from now, 38, 40
Mhm.
years. So a lot can be fulfilled by that time. You know what I mean? And they like,
Mhm.
oh, they just throwing it, but people are they literally taking it as literal. But they already telling us the two sticks gonna be joined by that time. You know,
Wow.
the North and Southern
Yeah.
Kingdom. So like when I saw that, I'm like, you know, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, stuff got because it's always an intermingling always happened. So when
Mhm.
you look at Ephraim, that was a theme too with Ephraim that was going on. Okay, when you understand Ephraim too, that's why I said going back into the history and learning about it. Because like when you know about like the tribe Ephraim, how their involvement, how they, how that helped establish with what was it with England, Anglo England, all means the
Mhm.
bull, and that all goes back to Ephraim. You know what I mean? Same thing with
Yeah.
Judah with France, because we had a lot of involvement with Europe, and a lot of people don't really know that. So it's
Mhm.
just like the tribes, yeah, man. Remember during the Dark Ages, all of that was happening when, they say, oh yeah, the so-called black man helped get us out of the Dark Ages.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like that's
Yeah.
that stuff is serious, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because like I said, when I was meditating through the spirit, man, I came across Bad Boys 3. Me and the brother were talking about it. Bad Boys 3 on how Will Smith was admitting that he was the father of the so-called Mexican. I think his name was I think it was like Armando, but his real name, who played the character in that movie, his real name was Jacob,
Yeah,
and it was deep.
see,
Uh huh.
that's some deep. And you see, I ain't never watched Bad Boys 3, but I seen clips. Like I'm familiar with what happened in there, but That was it was predating the Kobe situation too.
Oh, yo.
Yeah, with the
Oh,
helicopter
man.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
and how
man.
Will
That
Smith
was
from
something else.
how Will Smith from Philly and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I noticed
Kobe.
that they use Will Smith for a lot of blasphemy movies and genders. I noticed that.
Yeah, because he
Will
is the
Smith
I
a lot.
Am. Yeah, he's the I Am, the Fresh Prince, the Messiah.
Right.
And his name is Carol.
Middle name, right?
Yeah, Carol, Cara. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hint, Chadwick Boseman's mom name is Carolyn. I had broke that whole thing down with Emmett Till, like how Carolyn Bryant was the lady's name that said he whistled. And you know how Emmett Till name is Lewis, his name is Emmett Lewis Till. So it's like what that's basically saying, his name Emmett is like basically a famous man. That's what it basically just means. Um
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, obviously we already know about the King Lewis, the great warrior, the Messiah, and then Till means to build the kingdom. So it's like that's why they said he got pulled out. Remember, they said they pulled him out of the sea with a fan around his neck
Yeah.
because that whole thing. Remember, as it's written, how the Messiah, it's in Revelation when it talks about how he has the fan. You know, he does the
Mm-hmm.
purging with the fan. You know, so it's like
Wow.
that's all in our face. And then how that year I had broke it down. That year, the Minneapolis Lakers won the title that year that happened. And
Mm-hmm.
how Carolyn Bryant and then Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying, and Chadwick Boseman, his mom name is Carolyn, and how they both die off around the same time, and then you got like months apart, and
Yeah.
you got with Kobe obviously, and then you got the helicopter thing, which is crazy because Chadwick Boseman, now they say he died off because of bowel cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the abyss, the bowels of the earth. Remember how I said how the Messiah goes into the bowels of the earth and rise back up? He conquers
Mm-hmm.
hell. Remember, he takes the keys. And then
Mm-hmm.
Kobe fall from a 76 B helicopter. He's he's the Mamba, 'cause the Messiah is the bronze serpent. So all of
Mm-hmm.
that connects how the descendant to us in, you know. So that's the
Man, that's deep.
yeah, bro. It's right there, and I'm like, this is. Once I saw that with Chadwick Boseman, how he dies the same day as Emmett Till, and I'm like, this is crazy because it all connects. The Carolyn Bryant, the Emmett Till, the Chadwick Boseman, and Chadwick's mom name is Carolyn, and he's born in South Carolina. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this is insane. And remember they say he was born 1977, and they say he was born 1976, and they say, oh wait, oh, he's born 1977. Remember they did
Yo.
that. Remember they said he was 41 and then they say he's 42 or something like 43 then
Yo.
42. Yeah. It was
Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah.
it's right there.
Man. Yeah, clearly, man.
That ma-
Man.
that make you just go like how Snoop Dogg, how he runs Death Row now, the dog. You know what I mean? Cause the Messiah, the shepherd who brings judgment. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like how he's running it. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything coming together. But they like we said, they blaspheming, but it's all showing what's fulfilling right now. You know?
Exactly. Perfectly said, man. For real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some serious stuff, bro.
I was gonna say, what do you think about that whole situation? I don't know if you've seen a video. I don't know exactly what camp it was, but they're like protesting where Kyrie was
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
play or something
Yo,
like that.
I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna show something I saw and you'll see it. I'm gonna put it
Man,
together. You gonna see what
I
I
was
assume
like,
that's
hey, I was just like, oh wow, man.
see that was out in Brooklyn. See, I don't really be over in Brooklyn. I like that, and I know people out in Brownsville, but I don't really go over there. But I be mainly in Bronx and like Harlem area. But
Yeah,
yeah, that right there, bruh. Like, nah, that is Kyrie. Notice IUIC. That was IUIC, as a matter of fact. Notice
yeah,
IUIC are always involved. Remember, that's why Kendrick. Remember the damn album by Kendrick.
uh-huh,
Remember, what was it? Was it Ya Ya? Yeah, the Ya song. Remember, he was like my cousin Carl. My cousin Carl Duckworth. He know my worth. And, basically told him about the curses and all of that with Deuteronomy 28. But how Carl hit the Kara,
Right.
how he's the one who Kendrick. Oh yeah, my cousin Carl. Like it's just like all these names we be hearing. Carl. Now it's like that's why Carl Lewis had to be one of the fastest men. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's always got to be these names. I didn't came across. I didn't been in a lot of places. I mean, don't get me wrong. I met some Lewises here and there, Williams, but it's like you don't hear it all day, every day, commonly like this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying, man.
It don't work.
Exactly.
It don't work. Like Kendrick, how all these IUIC, they always tied in with the Hollywood somehow. And I was watching a movie one time. It's a it's they call like a black movie, but I forgot what network was it. Netflix. I think it was Netflix, and it was about gentrification. And basically, they was on there teaching about knowing about like real estate and things of that nature, and about how they want to gentrify whatever. And then on the movie that the guy, his name Brian White. If you remember Stump the Yard, he was the leader of the remember the leader of the Pythons, the one who was the one who not Columbus Short, not the one who came, but the leader of it. He he was the one on the movie, and he was like what he said, don't matter if you Islam, he said don't matter if you Hebrew, he said Hebrew, Israelite, Islam, Christian. He mentioned, I'm like, now they starting to mention this. You know what I'm saying? Barack Obama on his movie Barry, he they showed who it all was tied to. They was on there like, yeah, they told him he looked like Billy D. Williams. They told Barry he looks like Billy D. Williams. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, look at that. It was a Hebrew camp. So they already showing who they serve, man. All of that stuff connects. You know what I mean? It's just I had did a video on the camps a while back because I used to be around them, bro. Especially out this way. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was that like being around them? Like,
Man, I had met one dude. I know him. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but the one dude, bro, like it was crazy. Like they had different. Like when I was living in South America a little while, and it was just like the idea how I was thinking back then. It's just like aggressive, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, we understand who we are, but we gotta know how to conduct and how to the whole thing. You mean to tell me Lucifer can have a one world order, but the Most High is not? Everything that Lucifer does is to blaspheme what's the heavenly kingdoms like as above, so below. So if I'm sitting here just telling everyone, oh, yeah, this and that, going off on everybody, and that's my only way of serving the Most High. It's like don't add up because nations are going to serve like it was the first Exodus. Nations was among us. Same thing as it's written in Isaiah 14. Remember it says how Lucifer will fall down even though he say he's mounted up high. What it would say, the nations shall cleave to Israel. You know what I'm saying? Nations will cleave. So it's like if you're chasing everything away, it's like where are we going with this? Even the Black Panthers, that's that militant aspect. But then remember they started saying, we're gonna do the Rainbow Coalition when they was talking about mixing everybody up together and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't know, man. And I remember I was out in Bmore, bro, when I was in Baltimore. Um, what is the camp? The Branches. I was out there with them. I wasn't hanging, I wasn't involved with them, but I said, you know what? I used to watch their videos heavy. So I said, let me ride out to Baltimore. It ain't that far out. So I had drove to Baltimore and they was on what, Light Street, and I think that's North Baltimore. And they be with all the Gentiles, a lot of, Asians, different people be out there 'cause it's like the part where everybody go, I guess, to shop and be on the harbor and all of that. But they was out there, bro. We was just, I was walking by, I said, oh, I found them because I was hunting them down. I found them. And I see them out there and they had this Gentile in their camp, bro. I still got the video and all of that. The Gentiles in the camp, and he was out there. He was like, "Yeah, he was telling all the other Gentiles, yeah, y'all, y'all gonna be burned. This is gonna happen to y'all." And one of the Gentiles who walked by, he was like, "Why is this guy telling me I'm a burn? Like, what's going on?" And they said they told the guy to shut up. It was actually a Hebrew brother asked the same thing. That's when they told him to shut up. They told him to shut up, and they said, "Yo, edit that out the clip, bro. We're gonna edit that out of there."
Wow.
I'm not lying to you, and that's why I was like, this is kind of when I was like, kind of like getting to the point where I was still heavy in it, but I was kind of like, all right, because once I moved to New York, I learned how to be more, just know how to operate. Because at first I was just cutthroat, you know what I'm saying? I was getting in a lot of stuff, bro. But the the dude they told me, yeah, cut that out of it. We're gonna cut that out. And the Gentile said, so you mean to tell me you're, he said black. So I mean, he's like, you mean to tell me you're black through your great 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 grandfather? 'Cause that's what the guy said. He said, yeah, I went through my history. He said, I mean, what about me? We're all mixed in, I guess. That's what he said. And he was like, man, shut up. No, you gonna be burnt. You know this and that, the slave trade, blah, blah, blah. And they was like, yeah, that's right. And then that, they was out there just going crazy. They was like, oh, look at that Ishmaelite, they gonna burn too. They say, you gonna be burnt. I'm like, yo, man, like,
Wow.
and because I'm Jamaican, so they was like, oh, they was like, yo, you a brother, man, blah blah blah. They asking, they was talking, I'm asking them questions, and I was just basically like, how long y'all been, you know, how long y'all been in the faith, blah blah blah, and they were just talking a little bit, but like, I'm just sitting. They asked me, this is what they asked me. They said, so look, people starting to talk about us. They're like, so what do you think? You think it's about him being white in our camp? That's what they said. I said, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can't just look and just say. And they was like, oh, word. They said, at least you got some common sense. And I'm just looking at him like, man, this is crazy because y'all doing that to everybody else, but he's okay. Then they came out weeks later. Weeks later, they had a video out, and it's like, yeah, this dude was an agent, the whole time, blah blah blah. He's an agent.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, nah. I mean, it's on there. I went to go see them guys, the Israelite branches. I was out there. This is like a few years ago. Yeah. So I was like, nah. So I'm glad I got away from him because it was like I used to watch. I used to be heavy into it, bro. I used to when I was in Florida, I had met some IUIC guys. I had got there. 'Cause I was at an airport when I was coming back from South America, and I ran across one. And he had, it was him and his family. They was in it. I think they was recently getting in, but it was him and his family. They was all fringed up. They saw me and they was like, hey, I talked to him, got their number and all of that. But it's just like, man, yeah, that right there, a different vibe, bro. I've been around them people, man. They different, you know.
Yeah, no, totally. Like I'm just now like trying to get out of that phase of the doctrine. As far as especially like with the Dietary aspect and stuff.
That's why, yeah, I started learning that too, because I used to be heavy on that, like the UFO. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, they always push this. I ain't talking about the camps, but I'm just talking about in general that UFO thing. Remember I sure that all go back to Obama. That's why he was pushing it. That's why he was talking about it. Always talk about it. And you notice, if you remember back in the day, that's why we know the Messiah birth was in the 76. Because you remember right before the 70s, going into the 70s, you had the Star Wars and Star Trek really hit the scene. That took the world by storm back then. Even though it's all stolen info, like with the Indians and all of that. But even then, and even, I mean, it's ancient with the fallen angels and all of that. But I'm talking about that story they use. But that whole thing, yeah, bro, that ain't no joke. That was coming into the 60s, going into the 70s, they had brought the war. They already knew the war was against heaven on the rise. You know what I'm saying? So they already knew he was coming. That's why, like, the 1973 with the abortions, how that was being pushed, You know what I'm saying? Notice we ain't heard about abortion. When was now they talking about abortion? We haven't heard about abortion in like years. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now
And what's so powerful about what's so powerful too, how you teach us that about the 1973 abortions, because there was a video not too long ago of a lady saying the main decline in America was when they started aborting or having abortions, killing their unborn child. She said that. She said that was one of the first Americans' declines, and that was in 1973. They started doing abortions. So when I see now, I was like, wow, man, like man, everything's adding up now, you know?
Yeah, guess who? And guess who, that's deep. You said that because guess who is the first like test tube baby? They say the name Louise.
Wow, for
Yeah,
real?
yeah, bro. I had put that in a video a
Wow,
while back. Her name was Louise something.
wow,
Yeah, bro.
man, man. Also, too, I got a couple more, if you don't mind. Um, I was gonna ask you, what do you think about reincarnation?
Now look, that right there too. When you understand it too, the whole thing with the reincarnation. When you understand how it is, anyway, 'cause, you know when you go into, I think is it. I know it's Esdras. I think is it. I forgot. Is it second Esdras 15? I gotta go back into the notes. I got it in my notes. But yeah, bro, the souls have been around from years ago, bruh. And that's why you remember how it talks about how the same prophet, how it's the same, nothing's new under the sun, and the same thing too about the prophets that were then are again now. And about the whole thing, how the Messiah, goes through the return. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
if you watch those movies, say for instance, like I mean, they got that movie Soul. Remember that movie Soul with Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember how they everything they do is not by mistake, bro. Um, I had talked about this a while ago about how that was all showing that it was like the Ray Charles thing, but at the same time too, it was already showing. Remember how the little souls was like, remember how they was going back into their child state and they was like they don't want to return back to the earth.
Uh-huh.
They not showing none of that by no mistake. You know what I'm saying? And it was like that then. The saints, the prophets, is like all about that awakening generation to generation. Remember how he said they shall return generation to generation. So it's like, bro, that stuff is it's real, you know.
Wow.
That and then it ain't no joke. Like that's why people be like when you look at it. I mean, like now when they talking about people coming back as dogs and butterflies and all of that, I'm like, you know, but but it's like that human soul, bro. Seriously,
Yeah.
bro. Like even they used to tell us all the time, but like, oh, a cat got 9 lives. Like it's
Yeah.
just the little things they say, like, and they showed it on a Skeleton Key. Y'all remember the Skeleton Key movie?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
That's a like it's in the hoodoo voodoo thing, but it's like the same theme as it's basically like the same thing as like a Get Out, but it's like vice versa, where like the so-called blacks are trying to enter into new bodies, but like they ended up with like a so-called white you know vessel or whatever. But that was crazy. That movie dropped soon as Katrina came out. When Katrina happened back in '05, that movie came out I think a couple months before, and it's deep stuff to that whole Louisiana thing. When a Katrina happened, like the purifying, that all remember the Most High always deals with the judgments, and through that
Yeah.
was dealing with the key to get the key, how the Messiah gets the key. And I'm like, this stuff is real, bro. Like, no, that skeleton key was showing it too. How they was like, yo, we been wanting, they was inside of a body that got weak and old. They like, we need newer bodies, you know. They showed us this stuff. Everything they show us is truth in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stuff is
Yeah, no,
it
yeah,
ain't.
man. I agree 110% with you, man, on that one.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I'm saying. It's like at that point now, and it always, how people like, man, you remind me of this person when you were born. When you were younger. Or
Yeah.
people always the little things they say, bruh. You know.
Yeah, man. I remember one time I was working at this old job, man, and this guy showed me a picture of his brother, man. He looked like spot on, just like me, man. Man, it was like wow, like I was shocked, and it just goes to show, hey, yeah.
See? Yeah, that's deep stuff. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. My bad. I'm asking too many questions.
No, ask them, bro. That's the whole point. You're good.
It's just I always had a lot of questions to ask you, just to see your outtake on it and stuff. But one thing I was gonna bring up too was I don't know if you remember it, but the Aaron Hernandez case. I've always tried to figure out things behind that, because there was a lot of things that were said, after the death, and just wanted to see if you remember anything about that.
I never really got. You talking about the one who put on the Patriots, the tight end, right?
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I never even looked into that. That and Casey Anthony. I need to look into all of that. They about to bring her back on the TV too. They told me they about to bring her to speak again. Yeah, but I remember that happened not too far apart, But that Casey Anthony, yeah, that and that Aaron Hernandez is something I saw like on Netflix like pop up, but I never really went through it and looked into it. I was when the Aaron Hernandez, that situation happened like right after that Super Bowl against the Seahawks, right? Yeah. So I think I was about to get ready to graduate high school. 'Cause I think that was 2013. Yeah. So yeah, I ain't never really looked into it. I have to go back. That's been like 10 years almost.
Yeah. Man. That was just a story that it was just, yeah, so many signs and wonders of things that, wasn't just adding up.
Right.
Another one, because I've been noticing this a lot, man. It seems like they use Chris Brown for a lot of, things, just blasphemy, just all kinds of things. I've taught a lot of things where he was either trying to blaspheme, Christ, or him trying to act like he was Antichrist. I've seen a lot of things through his music videos lately. I was planning on making a video about one of the videos that he made, the High End song. He showed a lot of things, like as far as like blasphemy and just some deep things. So I just want to know, do you ever see anything that catch your attention, or anything with Chris Brown?
Oh well, I mean, just Chris Brown anyway, the Chris Christ, like the Brown thing, how how he's the bronze, like look as if he's bronze, you know what I'm saying? The brown skin, so that off the rip. Remember he had to run it. Remember how see if you can run it. Remember that? If your man on the flow, if he ain't, let me know. Like, uh, you understand that flow thing back then too. Hint like how the Messiah is the foundation. Every time they always do the R&B singing. Notice it's always about like remember Trey Songz is meant to steal your girl and all of that. So it's, when they doing that R&B, it's always to like lure the bride Israel. It's like Brutus with Popeye and olive oil. You know, olive oil is the bride of heaven, Israel, and then you got Popeye as the sailor man, which is the Messiah, and Brutus is nothing but the Antichrist, the Obama thing. And they always battling over the bride. So when you look at it with Chris Brown, remember he had the running with the flow, and then the what was it? The wall to wall. You remember that? Yeah, the wall to wall. All of those songs, bro. Like that's all just dealing with masonry anyway. Him with Rihanna, with him beating up the bride, and you remember how somebody was fighting over the car. You remember that? Remember they was talking about the car and that. Remember that about the key to the car, like the Cara theme, like yeah, that right there, bro. Nah, Chris Brown, all of them R&B singers like Usher, Chris Brown, Trey Songz. I mean, I can go on and on, bro. Like and obviously Chris Brown too. He ain't number a sodomite. All of them are sodomites anyway. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chris Brown, like him, like he a serious blasphemer too, bro.
Yeah. And I was gonna say too, the whole aspect of Obama, man, that was deep, the video that you made, man, because there was a lot of things I've seen just catching it, seeing it on YouTube and stuff. I remember he did the interview, and they said supposedly there was an alien or reptilian in the meeting, and it showed a glimpse of the person. Then I believe he was getting off the plane. You can see like on of the stairs and opposite spirit that walks across the camera. Just a lot of things with Obama, that was very, very eye opening. So, what you were talking about with the Obama being Antichrist theme is very deep, man. Just want to see like what was your reflection on that, and anything else that you could possibly add on, or that you would like to add.
Like basically, you asking like what would I think about just Obama, like in general, like with the interview, or just him in general?
Just him in general.
Well, I mean, we gotta look at it like this. Remember when before he was born? This is how serious it is. Can you remember the Lion King?
Mm-hmm.
When you understand the Lion King, it was all about, Mufasa was literally just Lucifer. Remember you gotta remember his duality. So
Mm-hmm.
remember Lucifer is as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And when you understand that with Mufasa, remember how he was in the clouds. Remember how he was speaking to Simba through the clouds. And Scar was symbolic of the Messiah. Hint that he was crucified. The Scar. So
Yeah.
when you understand that, to go into the Obama thing, is that real? Because remember, Obama is a Leo, which is the lion. And
Yeah.
when you understand it too, when you understand about the Sphinx, the Sphinx. Remember how the riddle was like, what is it? The one that walk on fours but walk on two legs. It was all the Antichrist theme. All deals with the Babylonian lion that come of a man. The whole theme of the Obama. That's why when you look at it too, when he was first born, like a few weeks, it was I think a month or 3 weeks, something like that. Before he was born, that's why they had Louis Armstrong and his wife Louise go to the Sphinx and blow trumpets. You know what I'm saying? I
Wow.
had put it in the video. Yeah. That whole thing, man. And it's just too much showing it, like how he already declared himself. You know what I mean? He already remember when he was the first one to go inside the pyramids. And he was
Mm-hmm.
calling himself. Oh, he
That's
said
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's Second Thessalonians right there. How he would go inside, inside the altars and declare himself as God in the temple of God. I think it's First Thessalonians. Yeah, he'd go inside the temples and declare himself as God. He already done that. You know what I'm saying? Hint the
Wow.
whole thing. Remember I tell you about I always explain the 44.
Uh-huh.
That's why he's the 44th president, because the 44 deals with the Ark of the Covenant. If you
Right.
if you remember, Busta Rhymes, he had the song. What was
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah. That break your neck video.
Not breaking. That too. That too.
The other one.
Yeah,
My bad.
that deals with that deals with the 44. Yeah, they don't want him being the headstone. But the one song, I forgot the name, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, at the beginning of the video, he was like, "Man, I fell and bumped my head somewhere. My mom, I couldn't get up. My mom had to help me get up." That was dealing with the scar, the beast. You know what I'm saying? He was riding on his bike and then he bust his head. And I was dealing, remember as it's written in Revelation 13, how the world will marvel after the beast, after the head wound heals. How Obama has that scar in the back of his head. And then how when you understand about the scar in the back of his head, and then on top of that, remember how that's why Abraham Lincoln, how they had to say, oh, he got shot in the back of the head. JFK, right after Obama was born, JFK so-called gets shot in the back of the head while inside of a car in Texas. You feel me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's like it all goes together. You know what I mean? Like that head wound, because Abraham Lincoln hint to Abraham. Remember, through Abraham should be many nations. So hint
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
And they say he got shot right by the curtains at the Ford. What was it, the Ford Theater, I think, or a Ford play. It was something like that, at a play or something like that. But yeah, like that's how it is, man. All that stuff connects to him, and it's you listen to the music. All of them praise Obama. Like I was listening to Young Dolph one day on research for research purposes. It was the Dumb and Dumber 2, and it was the song Dumb and Dumber on the album. And he said jump up. He said jump up out the car, left it. He said jump up out the car like a dove, left it running. So I'm like the Kara and then the Holy Dove. And then he was like, he got a dark skinned chick just like Obama. And then and then what's his name? Um Key Glock was like, yeah, they love and hate me like Obama, you know? And then you hear it constantly on every song. Everybody always talking about Obama. I'm like, why is he still talked about? You ain't hearing nobody talking about George Bush as much. You ain't hearing nobody talking about Clinton. You ain't hearing nobody talking about, I mean, even Trump, you know? You will see Trump when they talking about the emails and all of that, but I'm talking about literally just talking about Trump. But Obama is still in the spotlight like this, like
like 8 years ago now or so.
Yeah.
You know, they still talking about. You're right, man. That's spot on.
Yeah, because when he and think about it, he's 15 years older. You know, Messiah born 76, he's born 61. If you look at the 60s, because I listen to a lot of old school, like, but now it's I be hearing on research, but when you listen to like the old school in the 60s, it was real melancholic, like dark man crying out for women. You know, it was different.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe. It was dark stuff. Notice the 60s when they put it on horror movies, how scary it sounds. You know what I'm saying? You don't really hear them put like they'll put 70s music on there, but I mean the 60s is really when you hear that like Santa Baby and all them songs that came out like the 50s, but you hearing all them songs from like them old 60s, anything really before like the 69, after like they took Dr. King off the scene, anything after that, you kind of hear stuff get more lively. But back in the 60s, you listen to them music, you remember you had all that sad, or dark, sad romance and all of that. It's just like, nah, man, it's a whole different vibe when he was born. Then you go into the 70s, notice everything became more, they called it soul music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That was powerful too. How you said it like so backwards is Louis. And I
yeah.
was like, wow. Like I mean, I didn't notice that until I really seen that. I heard you say that. I was like, wow. And how Soul and Gematria is 76.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's deep. See, I didn't even know that. That's deep. I never even knew that.
let's see. Oh yeah. I mean, you hear a lot of people saying, nowadays what's going on and stuff, the whole Corona situation and CBD. And I'm talking about supposedly December 13th, a more physical hand on cash. January the Persian is in effect. I just want to know, like, what was your take on that?
I mean, well, 2023 gonna be. I can't wait to see what that Super Bowl matchup gonna be because that is like I have broken down few Super Bowls and like how everything like all of the Super Bowls. The finals is later on. That's mid year, but the Super Bowl is still during the winter, which is that harvest season. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when that go down, I really want to see like what that matchup gonna be because like how it was. Remember, what was it? The one with the Chiefs versus Buccaneers. Remember, I always break down the Kansas thing about the Messiah, dealing with Kansas and the Buccaneers, the Masons trying to, go to war against the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Because remember when that Super Bowl happened is when the Rona really amped up. And a year before that, remember the Chiefs beat the Niners, which deal with the 1849 gold rush. So basically, we're trying to say how we inherited how we inherited, the treasures of the heavens, and they wanted to just try to take it away from us. That's why they had to play in Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? So when you look at Tampa, it means the Bay of Fire. So they was trying to say, oh yeah, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes had a concussion just like Dorothy. And he had a, remember how Dorothy, when she go through the concussion, she tap her heels to make it back to reality. Remember how they said he got his toes messed up, his foot, because they didn't want us getting prepared to enter into the kingdom. So all of this stuff with the Rona, when you understand the Rona theme, that all deals with the crown. You know what I'm saying? That's on the surface. You know what I mean? That's why Kobe had to, they say, remember they say he was in Rona, California and all of that. So it's like all of that stuff, man, deals with the crown. They even got the beer. You know how Snoop Dogg got that endorsement with the Rona commercials. And how Kobe, remember I was talking about the whole Rona thing, how that went through him. Remember when the 76 helicopter come down, you know what I mean? That's what happens. And then that's why what was it? Giannis, how they go by the Greek freak. They want us as Greek freaks, away from our inheritance, battling against the Phoenix Suns because that all symbolized the kingdom of God rising like the sun in the west. So it's like the whole thing with that Rona is very important because the whole thing, when you understand about, like, even with the zodiacs, the Gemini deals with the doors and how the Messiah has the key to open the door that no man shall be able to enter if he closeth. So it's like when you look at the Rona, how it deals with the air theme, how deep that is, because it all deals with, like, they trying to say, okay, yeah, you can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? Because they really trying to disrupt, that the kingdom that's unraveling. So when you look at all of that, man, it was just like it was a Rona commercial, and they call it "Protect Our Beaches." Israel is as the sands of the sea, and they literally had all the nations with all kind of nations of people out there cleaning up the beaches. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, none of this is by mistake. Like none of it. And then the purge thing obviously gonna show, like, the Persian, remember, as it's written, his robe should be drenched in blood, hence the whole great judgment that's coming upon the earth, the war among men, So it's like, that's how I see it, man. I mean, I just see all this stuff just unfolding. That's why Lewis on the show Power Raising Canaan, he couldn't breathe. Remember, he got burnt up, so he couldn't breathe. Same thing with George Floyd. He leaves 776 zip code, goes to a 768 area code in Minnesota, from Texas to Minnesota, and he said, I can't breathe.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like, bro, it all come together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just be a lot, but it's like all praise that we get to see and how the the revelations of all of this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys go if I can ask just a couple more questions for you, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. You good?
So another thing I wanted to talk about was the whole SpaceX military. I don't know if you heard about that, but they're talking about. They've been talking about it now. They got SpaceX military. Just wanted to see if you know anything about that or think anything about that.
Well, I mean, that just sound. I ain't even. I had to look into it, cause it's a lot. I had to look into that, but I mean, you talking what is it with Elon Musk?
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying and speculating that they're going to try to pull off some event to try to reel in, people and thinking the second coming, the Most High, that's why I had to bring that up about the whole SpaceX military.
Well, I mean, yeah, that all that gonna go. It's just like, remember they showed that on Spider-Man with what was it, Homecoming, I think, when they was showing like how they was using the projectors and everything, all of the technology to bewilder the people.
Oh yeah.
You remember he was using a projector. I think all that's obviously gonna tie in. Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be like that false illusion of that sky god they about to get ready to present.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how they gonna fool the people. They had a show called Messiah that was out that not too long ago that came out, and it was showing that too. Yeah, it's called Messiah. Yeah, it had the Seizure Boys year on there. And he came back and he was bewildering the people, doing miracles and everything. It was on Netflix. I don't even think it's on there no more.
Wow, that sounds deep, man. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's called Messiah. If anything, Tubi be having all of that stuff too. Cause a lot of stuff that it's kind of like it's free. I mean, it's a free app. You know, you watch on it's actually like it just got ads. It's kind of like Crackle, but it's like you can literally. It's not as many ads as Crackle was. They got thousands of movies on there, like thousands of them.
So another one I was gonna ask you. So what do you think with these ritualistic these rituals these elites pull off with these artists? Do you think actually biting them off, or letting them go somewhere else and stay
Man, I
hidden?
think like Nipsey and all them people like that. Yeah, I think they be just going to another island we don't even know about, bruh. Like places they tell us we can't. Places they tell us we can't go. I think that's where they actually be. You know. They like, oh, you can't go there. You know what I mean? Oh, Antarctica, you can't go there. But I mean,
I'm glad you brought that up. What do you think about that whole Antarctica?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, obviously, they showing us fake footage. How are they there? If they say no man can be there, how are they there in big coats? Like that we probably can wear in Alaska. I mean, I don't know. Like how are they there? But we can't go there, and they come out they doing footage, and it don't make sense. I think that's where they probably really had the people at. I don't know. I ain't saying that specific place, that specific continent, but I'm just talking about in general. It's like it don't add up. Like certain places, they tell you, oh yeah, nobody never been there. They probably have a whole bunker of people somewhere chilling. Them people like Kobe's and Nipsey's and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Stories that people have either witnessed or told, especially like the human cloning, face masks.
Oh, that's real. The cloning is real. The MK Ultra too. Like
that's what I'm saying. That stuff is real, man.
They showed on the movie Selfless.
Yeah. I remember that movie.
Yeah, Manchurian Candidate, the MK Ultra was right there with Denzel Washington. That was bro. That movie still, and I watched that. That still like creeped me out.
Yeah,
and I seen that since I was a kid.
Terminator 2.
Oh yeah, see,
like that, man.
Yeah, the RoboCop.
Yeah, man. It's deep. Just seeing how much stuff has been hidden, trying to stay hidden. It's just crazy. Everything is manifested. Everything is being revealed.
Exactly.
So,
that's how I feel about that. Yeah.
Man, especially on your everyday life. Just the atmosphere in the air lately is just something. You just feel something.
Yeah, that's how it be, bro. I'm like, yeah, I saw that. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, for real,
Yeah, for real, man. Also, I was gonna say, what's your take on the whole aspect with the Broncos and the Wilson?
Oh yeah, I see you've been going crazy on. You've been going nuts with that one. Yeah, I saw that. No, I mean you're right, bro. That all is. Remember, he was on the Seahawks. The Seahawks is the Messiah man out the sea, named the Flying Bird, and then now he's on the Broncos. Remember, he beat them in the Super Bowl by destruction.
Yeah.
And then he beat Manning, the son of Manning, and then the Bronco is obviously Messiah upon a white horse. You know what I'm saying? Like the movie Nope showing them dealing with the white horse. So it's like, that's all showing how I am that I am is William preparing to be up on the white horse. It's fulfilling, the cowboy. That's why everything knows they bring a lot of cowboy stuff out.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. These elites are definitely saying something.
Yeah, they're like, preparing the saint. Remember they said the the saints should ride up upon a white horse along with him. So it's showing how everything's coming together.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff real, yo.
Yeah, nah, man. Definitely some interesting times we're living in.
I gotta see that Black Panther too. I'm gonna probably check that out and see some stuff in there.
Yeah, I ain't seen that one yet. I
Yeah.
was gonna see if I can look into that a little more.
I
Isn't
don't
there
know.
another one that came out?
I might go to I don't think I'm gonna go to no theater. I'll probably just wait, but I'll see
Yeah,
it.
that's how I normally am too.
I went to
I
go
don't really go
see
to the
Mike
theater.
Myers. I saw Smile and Mike Myers in a theater. Smile is sick. I need to talk about that on the video. I might do that too because that was deep. Because like Smile was serious. Because the main character, I forgot what her name was. I forgot, was it Rose? And the Messiah is the Lily, and then one of the main patients on their name was Carl. And there was a lot of other stuff in there. I
Wow.
heard some Lewis in there too. But yeah, I need to do that. But
Wow.
yeah, man, it's all in our face, bro. Like I was watching the movie, I gotta finish it. It's so deep, bro. It's called Truth About Charlie. Deep film. They in France, and the main guy, obviously name is Charles. You see 76, you see some 67 in there. And then they got he got multiple identities because his Messiah, you know, the whole thing, the returns, you know what I'm saying? And then the thing too about how, we are in his likeness. So it's like he had all them identities, and then on top of that, one of the guys on it that was that was dealing with like the Department of Defense, his name was Lewis, and his number had 76 in it. I'm like, come on, yo.
Wow.
It's
Just right in our faces, man.
yeah.
I mean, I think to myself, like, do they do this because they don't think nobody's ever gonna catch on, or do they do this because they just love blasphemy?
Well, I mean,
You
it's
know?
the love of blasphemy too, but at the same time, it's like it's an oath. This is how you get your portion now. Satan's kingdom is the reverse. And that's why he always used the clown god thing. If you watch Dragon
Oh,
Ball Z,
okay.
remember the clown god of destruction. He always used it to like mock and blaspheme. Like that's why the Most High in Proverbs 125-28 said that he gonna laugh at them in their calamity as well. So it's like, and he said he
Oh,
laughed.
yeah.
I think it's in Psalms 2 when he said he laughed upon the throne and judge. So it's like, yeah, man. Like, nah, that's how Satan builds his kingdom. His kingdom, he's in. This is literally like it's our hell and their heaven. Like I remember I watched a movie years ago called Meet the Browns. This is years ago, and the son was on there. He was like, "Man, I don't want my." He said, "I don't want to have to die to go to heaven. I want my heaven now." You know.
Yeah.
So it's like that's their theme. Satan is like, yeah, the only way we can do this is like, remember I showed it with the show Welcome Back, Cotter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. 1976 release,
No,
and we,
yeah, man. Hey, man, that is crazy, man.
yeah,
That is crazy, man.
Lewis
They're
main
literally saying
character.
it, like they're literally saying it right there in the lyrics. Wow.
That creeped me out. How they said, yeah, welcome back. They turned to the same
Yeah.
place you laughed about, and he was like, well, he said,
Yeah.
yeah, he was literally talking about, yeah, we tease him a lot. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Since you hung around, the
Yeah.
names have all changed. Like, man, yeah, man, that is wow.
Whoever wrote that
Wow.
song, bro, is some high level Satanist for real, boy.
Yeah, for real. Gotta be, man, because, man,
Yeah,
that is.
they're a trip. Yeah, they're a trip. They're a
Because
trip.
they ever have more. I wrote some other. Yeah.
Yeah, you good, bro. Definitely. It's a blessing. Like I said, you got things to ask, you know.
Yeah, man.
Look at
That's
that.
why I was so glad to have this call with you, man.
They talking about Cher right now. Remember Cher, that singer and Sunny?
Uh-uh.
Cher, like back in like the 70s. They talking about she's 76 and her boyfriend is 36. Like, look at that.
Wow. Wow. Man. Like they just don't stop day in, day out.
I couldn't live my life like that, man. Like,
Yeah, no, same, man.
I met people who I remember back from school back in the day when I was in middle school, and I saw them back then. I was looking at them, I didn't even know he was throwing the signs up back then in middle school. And like now, like they tied in, you know. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bruh.
Mm.
Yeah, like it's right there on our face. Yeah, man.
I was gonna say, I see she want to make a video about the same. 2024 is the coming of Lucifer.
You hear me out. Hear me out on that. That's deep because the thing is too, I was just talking about this. When you look at it too, with like Barack Obama, remember how in 2024 the next dragon year, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's the next dragon year, so it's like that's deep stuff right there. Cause what is this 2022 right now? And hint Obama will be 63. Hint Obama gonna be 63 in 2024. So hint this 3 6 is 666. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, in 2024 he gonna be 63. Hint 666.
Wow. Man, that's deep. Damn.
Yeah. That's why he's from Honolulu, Lewis, you know? And he went to Punahou High School or whatever, which don't mean nothing but the tree of death. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Wow.
It's like,
Man.
yeah, bruh, 666. He'll be 63. Hint, we not from 63rd, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. It dealt with the 666 and then the 6666. Because it all deal, you know, the 666, the number of the beast theme, you know, the whole thing dealing with the number, calculating the number is all how they blaspheme Lewis. You know what I'm saying? So you get that, like, you know, that's why Isaac Newton had to be one time he calculate, you know, because it all goes back to, you know, him through Isaac comes Israel. So they were trying to say they calculate the name of the beast because what it's saying is the whole thing how they blaspheme Lewis, you know.
Yeah. Also, I was gonna ask you too, about the name Edwards. I heard you mention that in one of your last
Oh,
videos not so long ago. I
mm-hmm.
just want to know, can you elaborate a little more on that? Because that was deep, man, what you were saying.
Bruh, Edward is the wealthy guardian, and Edward is like the right hand of Lewis, bruh. Like it's deep. Every movie I showed it. I showed it. Every movie is always Lewis and Edwards or Williams and Edward, always connected. Like Edward Scissorhands, the girlfriend, dad name was William. You know, with Bill, but you know that's still William nickname. What else? You had the Ed and Eddie. You had yeah. You had
Yeah, man.
what else I was showing a lot of stuff. Like even when I was out, it's crazy because I was out in Kansas City. I went to a game with the Chiefs when they played the Chargers, and it was crazy because Edwards they was like what they said 2 hours between cities because I was about to get ready to go to Wichita, Kansas. And they literally I couldn't hear the commentary obviously because I'm at the game, but I heard it on the highlights. On the highlights, I watched it, and it was like, "Yo, what they said? They was like, yeah, Edwards, 2 hours between cities. That's what they said." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Yeah, I was actually going to link up with an Edward out there in Kansas, in Wichita." So it was like 2 hours between cities, and then Edwards was running the ball back against the Chargers, had the whole theme of like the charging up, you know what I'm saying? Receiving the light. So it's like that Edward is serious, bro. Like Edward connects to Lewis, bro. Like no way around it. No, Edwards is like a serious, a serious one. Cause I was just watching Nope, and they was talking about Edward on the show, on the movie. Emerald was talking about Edward, and Emerald, remember, I already showed that it all deals with Judah, the kingdom of God, the Emerald City of Wizard of Oz. So I'm like, they talk about Edward. Yeah, Edward is like a close cornerstone to Lewis, man.
And there was actually some geek I came across too. There's a book called Louis Stone.
Oh, Louis Stone is a wicked Mason. You talking about that Gentile?
Yeah, that book, I believe, and his middle name is Shepherd.
Yeah, yep. Louis Shepherd Stone, I think is his name. And he like one of the ones who did Hollywood back then when they was really coming up on the scene.
Yeah. I read a little bit about that. I was shocked, I was again.
Yeah, hint the Louis Stone, the headstone. To call yourself that is just evil, man.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, why all these rappers, all these different clothing lines you can say, they always gotta say Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, right. Every time, man. Every time. And I remember that one video you posted. What was it? It was the Drake song. I forgot what the Drake song it was.
The Sicko Mode.
Yeah, man. That to this day is still deep to me because there's a lot of symbolic things in that. It's just high level blasphemy, man.
Yeah, especially when he was in the car. He come in, she's in love with who I am.
Yo. Just man. I don't know if you've seen it. I seen a little bit on here on YouTube. Someone was breaking it down about this new it was something that happened recently. It was like a state. Let me look real quick on YouTube. But I don't know. They're talking about a lot of symbolic things. It was very deep. I guess it was like a tower or something. Let me see. But yeah, the event of the Antichrist revealed. It was an event saying that it was at. Look, this is man. I don't see the name, but it said someone was talking about it was an Antichrist event or something like that, and it happened not too long ago, about a month ago. And it looks like a lot of deep stuff, man. It was showing the pyramid, a lot of symbolic things. It was pretty much like the Antichrist was revealing itself. I'm trying to figure out where it was because I'm seeing the video now. It's just not telling me where it was actually at.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
Man.
But if anything, I'll send you later. Yeah, man. It was showing a lot of stuff.
Notice the Sphinx is right in front of the pyramid because that's showing how they want to block the altar. That whole thing, no church in the wild. We don't want you in the wild. We don't want you in Cairo. Remember Biggie? Biggie Smalls? Remember the one song he had kicked in the door? He was like waving the 4-4. Where he said, we go to Cairo with your, B word. He called him a prick. Cause they like to kick the Masons like to kick against the pricks. You know what I'm saying? And he said we go to Cairo with your B and we waving the 4-4. But see, back then we like, oh, that's hard. But now I'm like, wow,
Yeah, that's how I've been becoming too. A lot. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. But no, that's something I've been feeling a lot now. It's like the more and more you learn stuff, the more and more you just can't like really listen to it no more. It's like you like you learn the names, you see the blasphemy. It's like you can't even. I mean, even sometimes even break down the video. Sometimes it's hard to listen to the lyrics. You know.
Yeah, that's how
So
I be like. I mean, yeah, especially like what was that? Who
yeah,
won't smoke with me? Who won't smoke with me?
yeah,
And he said, we got
yeah,
7.62. We gonna blow the lungs out. You know. I'm like,
right.
wow. And Lil Durk told me, yeah, you tell you they die for pumping gas. And
Exactly.
we think they talking
It's
about
like
some
things.
street stuff, but they talking about us.
Exactly.
Notice they always say F12. They be like, man, F12. Like Dirk, all of them said. Like Dirk
Yup. All the time.
on what was it, his on track the Hellcats and track hawks, he was like, yeah, man, F12. I don't want to deal with nothing dealing with them. But we think they talking about cops, you know?
Yeah.
And they're not, you know what I mean? They talk about the 12 tribes.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, man. Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, too. I totally forgot to bring it up, but that was a great video that you and the brother Cork have made about you know how we should be wanting to eat things of life instead of things of flesh.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
very deep,
Yeah, I
man.
actually learned that from Cork.
That was deep, man.
Man, I ain't gonna, I never even talked about it, but I was talking to one Gentile man, like he's a great, good dude. And man, was talking, and I was telling him about when I was when I first stopped. I ain't ate meat since like June time. It was like when I was the last thing I had that was meat was a Philly cheesesteak at Geno's in Philly. That was like last week of June. Like had to be like last week of June. That's the last time I actually was all right. And then I think it was like the first week of July, last week of June. So it's that time frame. But I had cleaned my system out, and it was crazy because when I did it, I prayed over the water. I had the castor oil, the flaxseed, etc. And I had got me some elderberry and honey and stuff like that. And I had cleaned my system out. I prayed in the name of Louis Eternal, man, and just cast those demons out. And I ain't gonna lie, I was shaking when I first did it, bro. Like I was like, yo, am I gonna get sick? You feel me? I was getting like, I need this. I wanted it so bad. I ain't know how bad I wanted it. And I was like, and don't get me wrong, I was around people who were still cooking it, at the time. So it's like, man, you smelling it, all of that. But I was like, man, I want this, but I had a dream, bro. I ain't even lying to you. I was in the dream, it was me, and there was another me, like a doppelganger. And the doppelganger was mad. He was completely black, bro. Mad aggressive. And he was like, yo, feed me meat. He was banging, feed me meat, feed me meat, feed me meat, trying to attack me. And I literally I hit him with a Bible, bro. I hit him with a Bible. I opened the Bible up on him, and he like crumbled and and rolled over. And after that dream, I didn't have no more hunger for meat. And I like, now I tell people, I be telling people this all the time. Like I ain't aggressive. Like, oh man, blah blah blah. You're wrong. I don't do that. Like I speak to them and I give them like I was there, bro. I've been wanting to get off of it for about. I'm 26 now. I probably wanted to get off of it when I was a teen, but I didn't know how. I didn't know this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I knew about Illuminati and all of that, but I didn't know about this stuff. So it's like, I was just like, because you gotta look at it too as duality in that as well. They push the vegan side on Obama's side as well because they want to make it their kingdom too because they know that's how the kingdom gonna flow.
Yeah, I noticed all this plant-based stuff lately and
Yeah,
all that.
everybody talk plant based. You know what I mean? Because it's duality, bruh. The
Yeah.
wheat and the tares theme. So it's like, but yeah, bro, I was when I got off of it, bro, I've been good. I tell people like it's the sauce. That's the only reason. Have you ever ate meat before without no seasoning and sauce, bro? It don't taste good.
Never.
You like people be like, I'm pretty sure, like, say one time you ever had something like, man, this just tastes like meat. I hate that. I need some ketchup or something. You want some type of flavor to it, bro. Like, if you do that with the vegetables and stuff, it's the same thing, bro. So I'm like I be eating, beans. I eat like I like cucumbers. I like a lot of different, quinoa, chickpeas. I like Ethiopian food, like the vegetarian plates. I eat that. The greens, etc. But like if I ain't around where I'm not eating, I'm not gonna pay that every $30, $40 all the time. But like I get the food, man, blend up my fruits, veggies, eat, I be full, bruh. And I be chilling. I'm like, it ain't that. It's better, and I feel more energetic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was actually gonna, if I can, I might do it later on today or tomorrow. But I was gonna post a video reflecting to that because I found two clips. One of the clips was from the wedding ring. I don't know if you've seen that with Kevin Hart, but they were trying to exchange roles. And the guy was like, "Man, I might have to change this, man. This vegan life." He was so called black. He was like, "This vegan life ain't for me, man. I gotta eat some meat." And he was trying to exchange his role with the other guy because he didn't want to be a vegetarian. He had to eat meat. Same thing with like the Wayne's brothers. There's an episode that I'm gonna share too in the video that Pops he was waiting on Dee to bring some food, and instead of it being meat, she brought all vegetables and stuff. He was like, where's the meat at? And it was just deep because all I kept thinking was that video that you guys were talking about. It was just deep, man. It was deep, real deep.
Yeah, man, I had just shared that from Cork. Yo, shout out to Cork. I had just shared the video.
Yeah, shout out to the brother Cork, man. Much love and respect to you, man.
Yeah, because that right there, bro. Yeah, that's deep. You said that because I actually went to go see Marlon Wayans live, in Dallas, and
I seen that video.
I was out there for a minute, bro. Like probably some months, like 5 months, I think. I was out in Dallas for a while, but I actually fainted too, like twice out there, bro. I had
what?
yeah, cause I was going crazy. Like I was, I work, I go to the gym after work and stuff like that. I go play basketball. Well, you know how that is with teenagers. I'm 26, bro. They like 16, 17. They can go all day. So I'm in there playing. I'm in there playing like 10 games, bro. I'm in there playing 10 games.
Man.
It's like It's like 100 something degrees outside. I'm in the rec. I'm inside the rec playing all them games all day after work and all of that. Then it's like I don't know. I got dehydrated, bro. I fainted out. I fainted out at the airport twice. I'm like, man. And I fell at a Walmart. I had fainted inside of a Walmart. Like, but yeah, it was crazy. But that's right before I was I was going to Philly for a little bit. But yeah, bro, that right there, that was crazy. But when I saw that out in Dallas, I was in Dallas. I got off chicken. I had a crazy dream too when I was out in Tampa Bay. I had I used to eat, go get the lamb, the goat. Like I said, I used to eat Caribbean food a lot. That's how I grew up on it. So it's like I get the goat, all that. I'm like, yeah, I can eat this. Cause I got off chicken because I had a dream about me. I was sitting there just sucking blood from the chicken. It was literally just crying. Like, I'm like, nah, man. I ain't wanting after that, bruh. I said, nah, I stopped eating chicken first. But that was my favorite thing. I could eat chicken any day, bro, all day. But once I got off that, I said, okay, I was on beef. And I was like, all right, I got all windowed off of that. Then I was on the lamb and fish, and I got off of that. But it took time. I ain't gonna lie, it took some time. But once I started to say, I can't keep on saying I'm gonna do it, I had to. You got to make change, And I'm like, as it's written, we can do all things, through Yahushua who strengthens us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ain't no excuse. You feel me?
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's a change, but it's like it ain't no. Once you get past them first month of it, it's like it's normal. Knowing how to make dishes. I look at it, think about it. With me, all we got is chicken, beef. Let's just be real. People who don't eat pork. So even if you eat pork, so you got pork, chicken, beef, you're not really about to cook lamb every day, because that's gonna be like $30 to $40. So it's gonna be chicken. Yeah, it's gonna be chicken, beef, pork. You might have fish. That's it. With vegetables, you got so many. It's a wide range. You know, fruits, a wide range. You can do a lot, man. I'm like, I feel.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, I'm like, and
That's real true.
in this life, I don't feel guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you, brother. I
Yeah.
hear you on that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I used to feel guilty and I'd go eat some goat. Because I remember I was out in South America, it was this one white goat. They used to be right across the street from me. And I'd go over there with him sometime, chill with him or whatever. But after that, I'm eating meat. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I look at them camp brothers. A lot of them ain't talking about that. I remember I was out there, the Israelite branches, man, they was eating chicken while they was out there going off on people. You know? Yeah, it's.
Wow.
They like, well, yo, God, y'all said we can eat this, but it's like that was for the rebellious Israel, the ones who was following the way, the Most High, the Most High. Remember, they were the ones saying you don't need meat. You know what I'm saying? The rebellious Israel was like, no, we need it. You know,
Right.
that's why they couldn't enter the promised land all over flesh. Remember, they said it's better to be slaves. In Numbers 11, they said it's better to be slaves than for us to deal with a God like this who won't let us eat flesh. Like, what's going on with this? You know? Yeah, man. It's a transition, but with prayer and and just research prayer and taking it. I was taking it a day at a time, going a day without eating it, and 2 days, and then I just started branching off.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because that feels good.
Yeah, it's
That's good.
realistic. Yeah,
And sometimes people would think like when you quit, you got to do it immediately. So I've been learning too, and I'm glad you said what you said because that's normally how I try to do when I quit things. I go a day, I go 2 days, then eventually it's just okay. It became a part of me now. Like for instance, when I started making videos, I don't know if you were around when I first started, but me, man, honestly, I had a foul mouth, man. I was cursing. I was saying things. It wasn't cool. And brother Cork, he let me know, like, cursing and stuff like that. It's just, he asked me how many just to please, stop. At first I didn't understand because I was in the truth. I just got in, but then, I sat back and I thought about it. I was like, the brother is absolutely right. I took full heed to what he said.
Yeah, all praises.
Ever since then, I ain't said no cuss word in the videos. I make sure to stay humble and make sure to, focus on the lesson. So that's why I'm glad you brought that up about the 1 day, 2 days.
Oh yeah, bro. It's just like it's just like working out. Like working out is just like, for instance, what else? Say, I used to drink alcohol heavy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. A few years ago, I used to go insane, but I prayed that off, and it took me time. Like, I go and I was, all right, I'm good, and I start saying, I'm done. It's just like somebody with cigarettes. You just stop smoking. Say if a person smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, if they stop right away, they gonna go crazy. So you gotta learn how to like dwindle away and pray away and defeat it. It's all about the effort and then the change. Like it's the thought first. You know what I'm saying? It all starts as a thought. Yeah. But it ain't no just, oh yeah, just stop. It's like it's gonna be incorporate more fruits and vegetables and get out of it. Pray your way out of there. Because it took me realistically 26 years. If I'm be honest, because I was eating meat. Think about we were fed that as kids. Our parents were fed that, they didn't know, and then they didn't know, and then it just keeps going. But like it's about breaking those curses. You know what I mean, and being a leading example. And people be seeing me now, they be like, when I eat, and I remember one brother I know, me and him be joking and stuff like that, but the brother was like, I had mentioned what I said I was getting something, and he was like, yo, you ain't playing about this, Brace. I thought you was just talking. He said, that's the stuff my ex, she a vegetarian, and that stuff she eat, chickpeas, etc. And I was like, yeah, he said, because you wouldn't even know all of these different things if you really wasn't doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I said, yeah, and people I be meeting now, they be, people who I know and stuff like that, they see how I eat, they be like, yo, bro, like, I really want to do that. I really want to get off of
Yeah,
it.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. That's real good,
Yeah.
man.
It's just
That's
about,
real good. That.
see, when
Oh,
people
sorry. Go ahead.
know you, no, you get, when people see you doing, that's why he said be a light unto the world. People,
Mhm.
okay, look, if I'm on a TV, now look, we all been influenced, we all been deceived. But let's
Right.
say somebody on TV. I see them on TV, but I don't know them. So even if I feel connected to them, I don't physically know them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Somebody I'm around who I raised, who I grew up with, and I'm seeing them make changes, I'm like, wow, they can do it, I can do it. It started making you have that guilt a little bit, like, dang, if they out here doing changes, I need to start. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Because I can see them, I know them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's all about change, you know what I mean? Being a light to the world. That's why he said, be a light unto the world, be a light unto the Gentiles and unto the nations. And they gonna want to
Yeah.
cleave and serve the true God of Israel, you know?
Yeah. All right, I can elaborate on that? Just like for instance, like since I've been 2.5 years, and ever since I've been in the truth, my family been so used to doing holidays, me being around and stuff. But these last 2.5 years now, like they seen that I'm not joking. Like I'm not coming, to family, gatherings and stuff like that. And it's not because I don't love them, but it's just because I celebrate these holidays. You know what I'm saying? They can't do it. And I don't know, man. Like this, what happened on whatever day Thanksgiving was on. My family was like, normally they'll come like, "Oh, we wish you would came," stuff, but it was more like a spirit I got. Like, okay, they're starting to understand it. Maybe they're actually starting to kind of listen to what I've been trying to, tell them about these holidays and etc. Just kind of similar to like at my job and stuff. Like, honestly, man, like I'm kind of shocked, because we had these new drivers that started driving our jobs, and I don't know, man. It just seems like I don't know, like I just been, I'm not like forcing them or trying to force it in their ears, but they'll bring up a conversation where it's like, okay, I can kind of tell them, through the truth, what I see, etc. And I don't know, it went from them listening and showing signs, like they were showing signs like you think they weren't listening. I don't know, man. Now brothers just start to ask questions. I think I mean, they don't understand like we do, but Kanye West situation kind of made them open up and see, like, oh snap, maybe some things you're talking about is true, and so like that's example, like that's what I'm saying, like the way you were saying how you were shedding light on others, and others were trying to like, hey, let me try that, let me see how that goes. So yeah, man, I think that's a beautiful thing, honestly, man. You know.
Yeah, all praises, man. See, that's how it starts. It all got, that's why I said plant seeds and watch it grow. We might not be around to see the full tree, but
Right.
they can be fruit to others who need it,
Right, man. Right. Right.
Yeah, that's
That's why
how.
I was like, blown away. Because at first it seemed like they didn't want to hear, they didn't want to listen. It kind of reminded me of me, because I know when I first got into it, man, the brother at my old job, he was the one who actually was telling me and teach me. At first, I didn't want to hear it. I was like, blah blah blah. Well, I heard that before. I was always in like the camps. I seen how they acted, so I was like, nah, man. It was like the spirit of the Lord, pretty much through the spirit, sat me down and allowed me to listen. Once I listened, I took heed, and then started growing, and on
Mm-hmm.
from there. So,
Yeah,
man, yeah.
and we still got a lot of growing to do.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I love about being in truth. The growing never stops. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just grateful that all the things I thought, I was right about, whatever. Not even just right, but I just thought I was right about. I'm glad that I've seen. Okay, I see this now, and I have to correct that. And so I'm glad that I was able to correct the corrections as far as what I put out before on my YouTube account or not. I'm just really glad I was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just feels good. It just feels good. Fixing your corrections and the truth, understanding that the growth never ends. You learn something new every day.
And then when we in the kingdom, it's gonna be a whole new experience, a whole new world. So it's gonna be
Right.
learning. It's infinite. Like, yeah, bro. That's all praise to the Most High God of
Yeah, man.
Israel, man. For real. Like, in His mercy,
Yes.
like, cause that's why I be saying. That's why I don't be want to, break people's necks. Cause I'm like, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm 26. People been indulged with blasphemy. Some people have been indulged much deeper. Some people been
Mhm.
indulged with it longer. So it's like a lot to break chains. But
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, yeah, man, with the meat eating, I don't go to people, man, you did, I'm like, try it, I didn't know,
Right.
I can do it. You know what I'm saying? People be
Right.
like, wow. I had met one brother, he was suicidal. And I was talking to him one day. I met him, I saw him outside one day, and he was smoking a black and mild. And I'm like, bro, I ain't never seen you smoking a black and mild. What's going on? He's like, I'm all right.
Mhm.
But I said, no, what's going on? He said, I'm okay, man. But then a few days later, me and him was talking. He just called me like, man, I look at you like a brother, man. That was quick. He like, I look at you like a brother, man. He was like, what did he say? He said, yeah, like nobody asked me how I'm doing, but you have. Like, that mean a lot to me. And he was like, one day I was eat. He saw how I was getting my food. He was like, yeah, I know you don't eat meat. He said, bro, I'm trying to get on that too. I said, see, that's a start right there. I mean, just try it. Go a
Oh,
day.
praises, man.
I said, yeah, go a day, with it and just see how it is on your body. Watch how you start feeling. Yeah, you probably feel hungry. I ain't gonna lie. Like at first I was like, man, I'm hungry, but then I learned how to eat. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so yeah, I started doing. I'm still doing research now. 'Cause I want to get more real deeper and more in tune with it. I know
Yeah.
people out here who got their own land, man, with fruits and vegetables growing. I'm like, see, that's what I'm trying to get to now. You know,
Yeah. For real, man. For
yeah.
real.
Cause I started when I was in Ecuador when I used to go out there getting avocados and stuff off the tree, man. That was real. I'm like,
Yeah.
it was a different vibe, man. Eating from the tree than going inside of a Kroger or inside of a kind of kind of wholesale markets. Whole food
Yeah.
market. My bad, Whole Food. Yeah. So
Yep.
it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's beautiful, man. That's amazing testimony you have there, man. That's
Yeah,
good, man.
that's the start.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we are the greatest we supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you had anything else to ask?
So far, I believe I've asked you all the questions I wrote down. My bad. Like I said, man, my bad. I had quite a few I had to ask. Yeah, man. That's pretty much all I had to ask for.
Wow.
I don't know if you had anything else you want to add in or anything like that.
Well, I mean, basically, man, like I said, it's been a blessing, bro. Because like I've been trying to get in touch with you for the longest, and
Yeah, same, man.
this ain't the last time, bro. We gonna collab and all of that. Um,
Yes.
we'll definitely do a collaboration too on the video soon. We'll get the
Yes,
time,
bro.
we'll get the timing and everything right, and we'll do all of that because I've
Yes,
been
sir.
wanting that. You know, I have collabed with
Yeah.
people before, but it's just like, yeah, I want people who really on that. Like now, I got someone who I know who into like understand the Lewis aspect of things. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So we
Yes.
definitely can do a collab. So yeah, it's been a blessing, bro, without a doubt. Like we definitely gonna talk more anyway. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
man,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this right here was a blessing, bro. Like for real.
Yes, it was, man. Like I said, when I seen that video did live, man, I was like, man, I hope sooner than later I can be able to do a
That's
live,
crazy.
conversation over the phone with the brother.
They be blocking, bro, because like just for censorship purpose, I'm gonna say that. But they be blocking, bro, because like I didn't even see your comment when you had left like your contact. I'm like,
Yeah,
people was like, yo, this
yeah,
way, yeah, brother. The brother was like, yo, was like, yo, man, you need to. he's right here. I'm like, where is his email? Like, what is his stuff? And he's
Yeah,
like,
and you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Because the brother sent me that, and I sent him a screenshot showing that somehow he was saying that your message or email wasn't getting, or saying my email wasn't available or something like that. And the
yeah,
whole time your message was in my spam box. I just seen that today,
that's
and it
crazy.
was on November 25th. And
Yeah,
I sent the brother that. He was like, see, he's the least, man.
yeah,
Yeah, man, it's obvious, you know. You
yeah,
know, it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We serve the Most High, you know. So
yeah. It's all about forming. We're gonna form Voltron regardless. So,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
So yeah, man.
exactly.
So yeah, I'm gonna end that right here, man. All praise to the Most High. You know what I'm
All
saying? In
praises
the
to
name of
His
the Father.
eternal. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, in the name of the Father, Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua Hamashiach, Louis Eternal, man. Without a doubt, bro. And
Yes, sir.
everything gonna fulfill blessings, peace, and blessings unto you and all of the people who are watching. And we got much more
Yes.
coming. I got much more videos, and I'm gonna put Truth Be Told um link to his channel in the comment section below. You know, like, subscribe, and just check out his videos. The brother got a lot of great content, and you're gonna you're gonna be busting down on that whole Russell Wilson Broncos. Man, I be seeing that, I was like, oh man, it's like the 80th video of Russell Wilson. He ain't playing, he destroying his brother piece by piece, man. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you see, before we end that, you see how he didn't pass it to Hamler, like the
Yeah.
Ham Mashiach. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he tried to like come up and like run to him the game they played in London. Like it's just like, oh
That
my
they
gosh, man.
destroying the Wilson. And notice they because look, everybody, before we end this, everybody thought Broncos, especially like on Madden, with like the Madden
Yeah.
players, everybody like, oh yeah, Russell Wilson, that's gonna be it, because all they needed was a
Yup.
quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All their Broncos, because last year they was really good, they just didn't have a quarterback. All they needed
Uh
was a
huh.
quarterback. I mean, it's all staged, but it's for the script. But
Right.
when you just
Right.
look at it, they just needed a quarterback, and it's like Russell Wilson. You think would do that because he was good still in Seattle with DK Metcalf,
Uh
but
huh.
notice how that happens. Like, nah, man,
It's
it's
blasphemy.
it's a
And like just
humiliation.
real quick, I
Listen,
want to add on like how it came down to Broncos choosing either Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. You know, the Aaron
Aaron,
Wilson connection.
yeah, Aaron, and then the rod come out of Aaron. You know, the high
Yeah.
priest. Yeah,
Yeah, man. So man, they definitely got Russell Wilson. Yeah,
that's the
definitely.
that's the
Yeah.
humiliation thing with the Will Smith. You see how he in Emancipation and all of that. So it's like the William got to go. You know, they basically that. Oh yeah, we laugh. You know, we tease him a lot. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember we crucified you before. Shut up. You know.
Mhm. Right. Right.
Yeah, you're not strong. We're stronger now. It ain't that.
Mhm.
That's what the whole big bad wolf and the three pigs was about. It was all about the whole thing. I can't breathe. He beat him before with the Nimrod Babel Tower, with the flood, and then now it's like we're too strong. We use brick and stone now. It's not blowing down. You know,
Mhm.
we got to,
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah, all praises. So yeah, man, I'm gonna end that right here, man. We definitely got much more coming. You know.